Hi, Bold Thinkers. It's Kanesha from boldlivingtoday.com, and welcome to Wednesday Club. So, if you're new, welcome to Wednesday Club. And if you've been checking out the episodes, welcome back. And Wednesday Club is my way to interact and connect with the Bold Living Today community to talk about creativity, learning from and successfully navigating life transitions, untangling from things and thoughts that keep us small, and building and amplifying your boldness. So hello on Facebook Live and hello on Instagram Live. And all the broadcasts are here on Facebook Live for whenever you want to come back and look at them. They're available for 24 hours on Instagram. And then you can also check them out on my YouTube channel. So you can subscribe to that so you don't have to miss any of the Wednesday Club broadcasts. And so you can catch up and binge watch and get a bold pep talk each week or whenever you need it. So last week, let's see. I have so many fun notes here. Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, is everybody doing okay with the time change with the daylight saving ending? I was talking with my college-age daughter, and she was talking about like this week has been kind of brutal on her energy. Like things are going well. She's getting really excited about the upcoming break she has to commemorate, Thanksgiving if you celebrate, or to commemorate the gathering of people, because they love each other type thing. Because I know Thanksgiving can be a little controversial. But we were talking about how to take care of yourself during the daylight saving slump, especially after you've just finished midterms and you're also in the process of gearing up to select classes for the upcoming semester. And then I know also if you are in high school, you are working on college applications and also thinking about final exams coming up and any other obligations you have in your life as a teen. And, any shift in time can really affect your energy in ways you had not anticipated. So my daughter and I just talked about different ways for her to make sure she took good care of herself during the time change and the increased darkness. And I just wanted to share a few tips about that because we might be able to use them for ourselves. So I told her just to make sure that she, even though it's getting darker earlier, to make sure she's still getting some type of exercise and moving her body, even if that meant she didn't have time to make it to her exercise class, she could, do a video or something on streaming. That's what I've been trying to do myself. Eating seasonal foods. We've been talking a lot about pushing the easy button and cooking big dinners or big meals and then freezing small portions using the crock pot so that you don't have to spend time actually cooking in the kitchen. Of course, drinking a lot of water, staying hydrated, getting into the sunshine as much as possible. I mean, she's in New York. We're in California. We tend to have a lot of more sunshine available to us in California. So, being outside is not as much of a challenge as it is in certain other areas of the country and the world. And then always give her something to look forward to. So if that's, getting cozy, having tea, drinking your book, anticipating our family fun time and shenanigans we have planned. We're so excited to wear sheet masks and watch movies when we're back together at the end of this month. So those are some of the tips that we talked about, and keep yourself happy, whole, and bold as the time shifts. So today I want to talk to you all about how to be unapologetic. And last week's episode 9, was all about not letting other people waste your time and you not wasting your time. And I went over 14 different things to consider based on questions and comments that the Bold Living Today community had sent in regards to the previous episode of Wednesday Club. So that was fun to go through that. And one of the things that came up on the list of 14, I'm looking here, is waiting for something to happen instead of just going out to make it happen and then hanging out with negative people and absorbing their bad energy or bad attitude. Those were two of the big things that came up, other than checking email and wasting time. So I thought that today would be a really good time to discuss ways of being more apologetic. And if you've been on the Bold Living Today website, the top of the header of the website talks about the 4 bold principles of the Bold Living Today community, which spells out the word bold. So it's B, believing in yourself; O, owning your story; L, letting yourself be in the moment; and D, diving deep into living openly without being apologetic. And a lot of times people are like, I'm unapologetic about this, I like this, and this is how I like. When I'm talking about being unapologetic, it's about living your life and conducting yourself in a way that fits your needs and your desires. So it's really not about other people and getting in their way or stopping what they're doing, but it's really being in tune, being centered, and valuing what works for you, how you want to conduct yourself. And then, stepping out of the status quo, allowing yourself to drop any facades you might be maintaining so you can just live openly and not have to worry about the checks and balances of what you've told other people. If it's really you, if you're really standing in your desire, when you still stand, if you're really standing in your needs, you don't have to fake anything and pretend. And then it also gives you, permission or space to, look at yourself without being judgmental and give yourself permission to do things your own way. So you don't have to keep up with everybody else. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses. You don't have to worry about the fear of missing out and things like that. And I feel like being apologetic is one of the key principles, guidelines, guideposts, whatever you want to call it, to having a bold mindset so that, you're thriving in the middle of something that you're struggling with, something that is challenging, something that you don't really know how to do. You're still thriving instead of surviving because you feel settled and comfortable and happy with yourself. And you're going to be unapologetic about seeking additional support, putting yourself out there, and, just living fully at all times. So I have 5 key reminders here about ways you can live unapologetically. And this comes from working with my clients, work I've done with myself, work I've done with my own coach back in the day. I still have a business coach, but I had a different coach for getting my mindset right some years ago. But hey Carrie. Hey up in Washington State. So these are just 5 key reminders, and some of these reminders you might already know, some might be new to you, or some you might need a nice reminder of, yes, I need to get back to that. I need to refocus myself on that. I need to refocus my energy, my mindset, and get more attuned to myself. So if you have like a journal, or if you have a notebook or something, you want to take a couple of notes, feel free to do that. Oh, I love my mug, Boss. It's from my husband. And I am drinking organic baked cinnamon apple tea. It's a cozy type of day. I am having such a slow moving day because I was at a conference all day yesterday and my brain is a little slow. So tea time with you all. That's what I'm liking today. Okay, so 5 reminders or 5 things to consider about being unapologetic. The first thing, adjust your expectations of yourself. You need to focus on proving yourself to yourself. A lot of times we get all distracted about proving ourselves to other people, worrying too much about what they think, worrying too much about keeping up. So when you want to prove yourself to yourself, you can create your own milestones and your own check boxes about what success looks like, what progress looks like, what feeling great looks like. You get to decide that. You can take a break from comparing yourselves to others, getting into the compare and despair cycle. You can look at yourself in the mirror and just says, I trust you, I believe in you, I love you. Just as simple as that. So first thing is adjust your expectations of yourself. The second thing is, I'm always talking about productivity and the focus protocol. So the second thing is to curate your to-do list. So we're not just creating or composing this to-do list. We're really getting, drilling down to really specific things and curating it. So I want us, especially since we're moving into the holiday season where things are getting busier, we have more obligations, more things to do, more things to prepare for. You need to resist the urge to constantly pile more things onto your already massive to-do list. And, this week or the week coming ahead, because we're already on Wednesday, so maybe the week to come, this week, I want you to create 3 categories for your to-do list. And I've mentioned this process before. But you want to have a now category, a near future category, and a late future category. So the 3 categories: now, near future, and late future. The now categories are things that you need to work on, that need your attention, you need to tend to within the next 10 days. So it's a very specific timeline. That's the now. And usually the now is about 2 weeks, so 10 to 14 days, depending. Some people work on weekends or do things on weekends, and some people are really looking at the weekdays. So maybe it's 10 for you or 14, depending. So that's the now category. The near future category is within the next 20 days. So it's a little bit further out, but not too far out, still within maybe a possible month time range. So that's the near future. And then you have the late future, which is a 2-month time period. So now, near future, late future. And when you categorize and curate your to-do list in this format, it's going to help you prioritize your tasks. You can ask for the appropriate help because you have more of an expansive view of what you're doing instead of thinking you have to tend to everything right in that moment, right in that day, right in that week. You have a better mental outlook on what's coming. So you can ask for the appropriate help. You can outsource services or barter for services, and you can look at where your natural talents and skills lie. And if something on the list that is important that you need to get done, you'll know better how to use your time and to get the right support team around you to get it done so that you're not overtasked, overwhelmed, overdoing, overscheduling. So that's the second thing, is to curate your to-do list. Curate it. The third thing about being unapologetic, the third reminder is to just stop playing it safe. I know a lot of us in the adult land think, I'm this age, and by this age, I should already know how to, whatever the case is. We can be skilled beginners. We can be skilled beginner learners because some things are new to us, and, it comes to us when it comes to us. And that's just how it goes. So when we stop playing it safe, we can welcome the lessons of transition season. And transition season is whatever it is for you, whatever change you're experiencing right now, whatever you're going through. You can lean into that without letting fear take completely over. You can look at fear as a companion of, hey, I want you to keep me safe, but I don't want you to keep me stuck. I don't want to be stuck. You can invite fear along for this ride, but you don't have to let, fear guide the transition. You got this internally. You can ask your bold entourage for additional support around it because you're not playing it safe. You want to play fully and boldly into whatever you're doing. If you fail or make mistakes, which is completely natural, even when we're adults, even when we're high achieving adults, even when we're bold adults, we fail, we make mistakes. You just add that to the list of life lessons. Everybody is failing and having something going on, and there shouldn't be so much shame attached to that. I mean, I had this big project this last year, 2018, that I worked on for an entire year. Totally invested, tons of time spent, resources spent, just a lot of passion put into it, and it went nowhere. It fell completely flat, super disappointing. I've talked about it before. I'm not embarrassed of it, but from that, I decided, you know what? I don't really need to do that same project in the same way, but I can still use some elements of it. I can use the lessons of it to add to additional case studies to support what the work I was trying to do, and then move from that space and partially rebuild it because it has a good foundation. So I don't have to rebuild from scratch. I can just, move the pieces that did not work and build from that foundation so I can be a skilled beginner and start again. So we don't have to play it safe when we're unapologetic. We don't have to worry about disappointing people in a way that they will think less than us, think we're not as capable. So really think about where you're playing it safe and is keeping you stuck and not in a healthy or supportive way. The fourth way to live unapologetically and be more unapologetic in your daily life is to stop restrictive dieting. Just stop restrictive dieting. A diet by definition is a regimen of something that supports you, fills you up. It's a way of doing things. It's supposed to make you healthier. But, in our current society, all diet means is restriction, starvation, deprivation, and things like that. And when you stop restrictive dieting, you need to think about ways to fill yourself up and having the habits of focusing on what you can do and going from that space. Let go of anything that's restrictive in regards to opportunities, in regards to adventure, self-love, food, whatever is restrictive in those areas. Just let those habits go, let those ideals go, and then focus on a diet that is more nourishing, that's more supportive, that's more understanding of who you are and what you're trying to do. So let go of that restrictive dieting. And the fifth reminder about being unapologetic is let go of toxicity. And that's been a huge thing for me in this calendar year. Letting go of toxicity. It's time to clean house. It's time to declutter, so you can start letting go of toxic habits, toxic thoughts, toxic people, toxic relationships, who are just not for you. You know, you've probably known this for a long time. It's been something that's been rumbling in your gut, on your mind, you know, after you leave certain situations or certain interactions or certain behaviors or things you're doing, and you don't feel so great about it, and it's constantly in your mind, you know, I need to make that change. Then it's time to let go. It's time to let go of that toxicity. For myself personally, I have let go of some relationships that at one time were important. When I say relationships, like friendships that were really important at one time, and then they ran their course. And I have this friend who talks about, you know, we have a nice catch, we're connected, and then all of a sudden it might be time to be released. And I'm not saying that it's super easy, but for me personally, I have started thinking about ways that I am filled up and nurtured, and when I have a real good diet of great relationships with other people, and I leave those interactions feeling, you know, an energy burst instead of being drained. And if I'm constantly feeling drained or constantly feeling uneasy after the interaction, then it's time to let it go and to be done with it and to choose myself and put myself in the front row and be unapologetic about that. You know, it just comes a point in time when, you know, we've tried and then it just didn't work out, and we can just move on. It doesn't have to be this labor intensive thought process around it. And it doesn't have to be all this drama or upset about it either. You know, you just take a break. And oftentimes if it's a toxic relationship, those people probably won't even reach out to you after you've kind of like quietly gone your own way. In my case, nobody reached out after that. So, you know, it was time, you know. Moving on to other bold things. So those are the 5 suggestions about being unapologetic and nurturing your bold mindset. And the first thing, adjust your expectations of yourself. Second thing, curate your to-do list. Third thing, stop playing it safe. Fourth thing, stop restrictive dieting. And the fifth thing is to let go of toxicity. What do you think? Are those areas that you can be more unapologetic about? I hope so. So I would love to hear from you and think about, and, you know, tell me what you're thinking about in areas of your life, and it might be your work life that you want to be unapologetic about. And I think that's really key to think about these things before we start moving into the holiday season, spending more time with people that we are often with or people that we only see seasonally, and seeing what that's about. Oh, Carrie, you're so welcome. I appreciate you too. So thinking about people we spend time with only seasonally and what that might feel like, what that might look like, and how you can take care of yourself so you can be prepared to spend time in those situations. And I have an upcoming episode. Let me see here. So, okay. So next week, in episode 11, I'm going to talk about some takeaways that I had from this conference I attended yesterday. The name of the conference I attended yesterday was Bold Success Level Up Conference. It was so good. I have so many notes, so I need to get those organized in a nice curated way so I can share that information with you. So that'll be next week's episode 11. And then I'll also talk about part 1 of your year in review and your calendar audit to get you going with that. So that's episode 11. And then episode 12, I will talk specifically about preparing mentally for holiday gatherings. And of course, I will talk about dysfunctional family bingo. I love to give this tool to my clients and my friends. So that'll be fun. And I learned this particular tool from Martha Beck coaching training. So dysfunctional family bingo, we'll talk about that, preparing for the holiday season and gatherings. And then episode 13 will be part 2 of the calendar audit. So we'll have 2 parts to the calendar audit. That'll be episode 11 and 13. And then, of course, I'm talking about this conference next week, first part of the calendar audit, and then to come, preparing for the holiday season, dysfunctional family bingo, and more calendar auditing. So yeah, like a lot of good things to come. Let's see, I have so many. Oh, that's my curated to-do list. You don't need to talk about that. Later this week, I will be premiering. I was trying to think of a fun word. Premiering or debuting my annual holiday resource guide. I'm so excited about it because I've mentioned this before. I'm working with a great graphic designer. She's a female business owner, so I love supporting her. That'll be out, and it's fabulous. And I'm not saying it's fabulous because I curated it. Like, I have some great tips and tools that I've provided, but I also have some great tips and tools from other female business owners. So it'll be a great guide for you to use throughout November, December, and early January. And it's my gift to everybody. So that will be coming out later this week. So if you are on my subscription list, that'll come directly to your inbox. And if you're not, you can get on that. If you go to the Instagram, if you go to my link, my bio section, and go into the link, you can sign up for the newsletter. I will put the link to sign up to the newsletter in the video notes. So if you want to sign up there, I send about 2 newsletters a week. And so, yeah, the holiday resource guide is coming out. I'm super excited. There's recipes in there. There's information about aromatherapy in there, fitness and wellness tools and tips, journaling prompts, so many fun things. So I'm excited to share that with you all later this week. So if you have any questions, comments, responses, just let me know. There's a survey in the video notes. You can always fill out there, or you can email me directly. If you go to boldlivingtoday.com, there's a little email button. You can send me information directly. If you have suggestions for topics you want us to discuss on Wednesday Club, let me know that too. So I hope everybody's having a great day. Stay cozy, stay warm, get some sunshine, get that body moving, and have a very fun day. So great to be with you all today. So thank you. Bye.